So we've got our finished assembly all done and dusted. Clearly we could add more parts to that. We could put our little felt hinge on, and we could put staples, and you know, we haven't got the biscuits, but we'll look at that later on. I want to just try and get us onto this sort of the next stage of what we can do with Onshape. Clearly you can see it gives us a basic sort of good 3D representation. What we can do in Onshape, there's quite a number of different features that we could use to sort of present our drawing work. So again, if you go to this icon in the corner, just the sort of bottom right of it, you can see there's options here for camera and render options. So if you click on the little arrow, we're just going to go through it at the moment. Again, if I wanted a perfect isometric, I can just click on isometric, and again it'll produce a perfect isometric drawing of what we've created. Sort of thing that you might have done in sort of Key Stage 3, we quite often do isometric drawing there. Dimetric and trimetric are just a slightly different angle version of isometric. So again, you can get them 3 different views there. I'm just going to go back to isometric. I can also, again, you can see here you've got obviously zoom to fit and zoom to window. So again, if you do ever get stuck, so if I zoom out dead small, you can actually do that. Zoom to fit saves you doing all the panning and all that. Zoom to window is you basically dragging a box around a section. So say you wanted a bit of a close-up of that, you can use it to get a close-up of that section. Go back to zoom to fit window. Again, we can then turn perspective on. So at the moment we haven't got any perspective at all, but if I turn perspective on, you can see I start getting a more sort of realistic view, if you like, of what the product looks like. Again, when it's very, very close, it always looks a bit funny, but you know, if you get in the right angle, that's obviously how we see things in real life with perspective. So again, for sort of folder work and presentation work, sometimes quite nice to have perspective on. I'm just going to put isometric back on. Again, turn perspective off. Turn it back to isometric. Again, at the bottom, I can have shaded without the sort of darkened outlined edges. Again, you know, it's a bit difficult to see some of the details, obviously, when you do that way. Again, there's some instances when you might want that. Obviously, I've got shaded with hidden edges, so you can sort of see it gives me the internals. I can see where my screws and my pilot holes were, etc. Again, if I'd have drawn the biscuit slots in the biscuits, they would show up, all that type of thing. So that's quite a useful one to have a look at. Hidden edges removed. So again, I literally get a sort of an IKEA catalogue. I describe this one as, you know, a real nice, plain, simple view of the drawing as an outline, a bit like that we've sort of done in our sort of hand drawing work. Again, I can also have that on perspective as well, so I can mix and match, if you like, between the different views, whether I want perspective on or not. You can see I can do this hidden edges visible. So again, it's like a sort of blueprint drawing. So I got the outline, but it's also got the hidden detail grayed out there, exactly the same. So I can have that view. I can have translucent, so I can see it all as sort of see-through parts. Again, that's sometimes quite nice. You know, you can imagine that as an assembly drawing, things like that. I won't worry about the bottom views; they're a bit more complicated, but well, don't worry. What I'd like you to do as part of the task is to just create a few different views, so I can see that you're using. So we might start off with a perfect isometric. You would then print screen that, put it onto a PowerPoint. You then might change it to hidden edges, but put it in perspective, so I can see that you know, get it in the position you sort of want. Again, print screen it so I can see that you're using the different functions. If you want to get rid of this origin, if you right click over it when it's selected, you can actually hide that, so remove that completely from your drawing. So that's how we can look at it in different views. Again, I could actually look at it as a perfect front view. Again, if I wanted it perfect, I need to take off perspective so I can get a perfect front view. Again, sometimes nice with the hidden detail. Again, if I rotate around, go to the right, I can get a perfect side view. Again, I can obviously get a perfect back view, and then a perfect top view. Again, you can see that you can produce some nice details and bits and pieces using those sort of basic functions. So that's the sort of basics of what we can do regarding sort of viewing, rendering techniques, all that. Again, have a little play. You know, screenshot a few little examples, put it on a PowerPoint, and you can upload it to the assignment when I set the assignments.